20 rebounds per game as well. Set to jump things up. Elle Evans, one of the newcomers. The junior transfer from North Dakota State, taking the opening tip tonight. Jayhawks playing without Wyvette Mayberry, their super senior guard tonight, held out as a precaution, nursing a bit of an injury. So Sanaya Copeland, local product and a transfer into the Kansas program, getting her start here tonight.
You can see Kansas wide open, spreading the lane, but they need to attack. A lot of standing around on that first possession.
Traveling violation on the opening salvo. Brueggemann brings it up for Lindenwood. A season ago, averaged almost 14 points per game. And she's a three-point shooter and fires this one up off the iron. Long rebound. Nobody gets a touch, and it's out of bounds.
You have to be around Brueggemann, because if she has any kind of room at all, she is going to fire up a three. That was good defense that time to make that a tough shot.
60% of her made field goals last year were beyond the three-point arc, hit 81 of them. Nichols off the screen. Drives to the corner. Harshaw for three. A little strong off the iron.
But that'll be a lot of what you see from Kansas this year. Samaya Nichols off the drive. If somebody comes to help, she'll kick out for that three.
Inside to Coffey, and had it blocked out of bounds. Lindenwood will maintain possession. Coffey, a transfer from Illinois State, into the mix for Lindenwood, a St. Louis area product.
Played it in Incarnate-Word. A lot of great players that have played in that program.
Yeah, she was part of what ended up being a 100-game win streak she left with in high school. I mean, unreal, right? 3 state titles in Missouri and 100 straight wins. The three-point miss from Evans, and then Copeland tried to steal it back in the backcourt, and they could not get there. Jayhawks played an exhibition game here the other night, Brent, and this end of the court was not kind to the three-point shooting.
Yeah.
They started the first half 1 for 15 and have gotten off to a little bit of a cold start beyond the arc thus far.
Yeah, they kind of got things going a little bit better in the second half, but you know, that's something that Brandon Schneider wants to see this year. No hesitation shooting the threes.
And a 10-second call as Copeland hounding Michaela Cunningham, the point guard for Lindenwood, and gets into a turnover.
Great defense in the backcourt. Sanaya Copeland was back there harassing and just took too much time. When the ball went out of bounds, the 10-second count keeps going.
Evans tried to find Williams on the interior, off her hands and out of bounds.
And Williams was all by herself off that screen and roll, so just freshmen, or newcomers, I should say, just need to take their time a little bit. Take a deep breath, deliver the passes.
Reagan Williams, a freshman out of Kansas City, Park Hill South High School, played her final season at Link Academy in Branson. Local product in her first official game as a Jayhawk. Went high for the rebound here. Williams had 10 boards in the exhibition win over Washburn. Here goes Nichols to work, changing speeds. Finds Williams, 15-footer, rattles in and out. Rebound to Brueggemann of Lindenwood.
Kansas going to look a little different defensively this year. They don't have 6'4" in the lane with that graduation, and you're going to see a lot of length on the perimeter, though, and a lot of pressure on the ball.
The high pressure this time forces the turnover over the top, trying to find Coffey. It's thrown out of bounds.
Of course, Tiana Jackson, one of those fifth-year seniors. Of course, she spent 3 years with Kansas, but shot blocker, all-time leader in KU history, so it's got to be a little different defensive look for Kansas this year when you can't rely on that backstop.
Jackson had 301 blocks for her Jayhawk career, also was 10 rebounds a game last year as well. Kansas will just have a different look, more perimeter-oriented this year. A lot of 4-out opportunities. They'll play a little bit smaller, especially in the non-con, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul off the ball. On Odom. Off the high screen, Justice Odom, senior out of Indianapolis, was for the foul.
You had a good look there at Michaela Michaela Cunningham, who is from Salina, Kansas. So, expect her to have a good game today.
Through the lane, Samaya Nichols gets Kansas' first bucket of the season.
She is so tough one-on-one. You have to bring the help defense, and that time the right side of the lane was open.
Here's Odom to work. Tries to drive on Williams, gets past for a second, missed it, tried to get it back. And finally a tie-up. Possession arrow will point to Lindenwood.
Samaya taking the ball down the right side. Nobody came over to help. And that's where, because Kansas is going to shoot a lot of three-pointers, you put that defensive player in the corner in a decision-making mode. Do I come over and help on the drive, or do I stay and cover up on the three-point shooter? That time she didn't come over to stop the drive, and it was a wide open look for Samaya Nichols.
Nichols, last year as a freshman, despite the fact that there were very talented seniors on this squad, led the Jayhawks in scoring last year, better than 15 a game. Now takes over not only the scoring but a leadership role. Big time in year 2. Good drive and kick. Shot clock winding down. And the shot was missed in the corner by Maya Scoff, just in the Lindenwood lineup. Copeland fires up the lefty three and rattles it in.
And I had a chance to sit in on a film session with Kansas earlier this week, and Brandon Schneider wants about 40% of the shots that they take to be from three-point range. So don't be surprised when they fire up a three.
Good backdoor cut by Scoff. The pass from Brueggemann left it short.
You got to take advantage of those kind of opportunities on the back door.
Driving kick, Harshaw for three, and that's good. Brittany Harshaw on the board. The sophomore guard, the transfer from Creighton, knocks down
Always
the three-pointer.
Makes such a difference when that first three-pointer goes down. Copeland hit it on the last possession. Harshaw in rhythm, hits a nice three that time. 8
straight points now for Kansas. Top of the circle now is Mariah Stewart, graduate transfer from Louisiana Lafayette at the post position for Lindenwood. Rebounded Nadira El-Tayeb, the redshirt senior out of Tacoma, Washington, back from an Achilles injury a season ago. And a whistle out front. Cunningham on the foul, heading in to our first mid-quarter timeout. Jayhawks have scored 8 straight. Lindenwood got the first bucket that all Kansas since, and they have an early 8-2 lead.
Together, we're elevating our potential and opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Jayhawk fans, we know you take pride in your team and in your home. When it's game day, you want your home performing its best, just like your team. That's why Kate's is offering Jayhawk fans a special deal. A furnace installed by Kate's for just $2,490. Visit katesheatingandcooling.com/KU to learn more. Who can keep your home game day ready? Kate's can.
This is Coach Lance Leipold. We're used to talking about all things football, but right now I want you to hear these 4 important words about the growing crisis of drug overdoses. One pill can kill. If you know someone at risk, be prepared with a life-saving medication called naloxone. This nasal spray can reverse the symptoms of an overdose and save lives. Get it free from the Kansas Naloxone Program by visiting kdads.ks.gov.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks. Toyota has the best resale value of all brands according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let Let's go places.
It's estimated between now and 2050, we're going to add 1.7 billion people to the planet. The more people, the more energy. The United States is doing its part, rising to become the #1 oil and gas producing nation on Earth, all the while reducing our emissions year over year. And that makes sense here in Kansas, where it's mostly local producers that live in your own town. They care about your environment because it's their environment too. Do your own research at kansasstrong.com.
Together, we're elevating our potential and opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Just past the midpoint here in the first. Kansas an 8-2 lead. There's a look at Nadir El-Tayeb, redshirt senior. 58 games in her 2 years, but lost to an Achilles injury last year. I'm happy to have her back on the interior for Kansas. Elle Evans going to work. Off the window, but no good. Rebound to Lindenwood. 2 subs each direction. Kansas getting in there. 2 players from Spain. Wyatt Canessa, the sophomore from Barcelona, and Carla Osma, the freshman from Madrid, Spain, in for the first time. She's wearing number 16 defensively here. Firing up the 3, up and no good by Gracie Wernley. Loose ball, knocked out of bounds, and Lindenwood. Actually, Kansas will have it. Out of bounds on the sideline.
A good hustle by Smith to try to get over there and make something happen. Just couldn't quite get her mitts on it.
Kira Smith in for the first time. Freshman point guard out of Midwest City, Oklahoma. Very talented combo guard out of the state of Oklahoma. We were really happy to get her as a recruit. Just the lone freshman on this Lindenwood squad. Evans goes to work in the lane. Shot is left short.
She's taking a couple of tough 2s over defenders in the lane. She has that length, but hasn't quite gotten herself freed up.
Driving the baseline by Scoff, and El-Tayeb comes over on the help and commits the foul. 2 free throws for Maya Scoff.
Nice drive to the basket. Not quite quick enough by El-Tayeb to get over in defensive position to draw a charge. Just have to anticipate on that drive to release and get over with the help defense.
Marshawn Williams back in the Kansas lineup. Scoff at the free throw line was a starter a season ago. 23 starts last year for Lindenwood, now coming off the bench. Was second on the team in 3-pointers made. One of the 9 sophomores on this Lindenwood squad. 1 grad student, 2 seniors, 1 junior, 9 sophomores, and 1 freshman. So leaning heavily on their sophomore class.
Yeah, very young, but they will grow together under Amy Egan. Had a terrific success at Drury University before she came to Lindenwood. And she talked about how all those freshmen last year got that playing time and they all stayed. And then they bring in transfers and the freshman Smith. And this is a team that's just going to keep getting better and better.
Samaya Nichols back in the Kansas lineup, handling the point guard duties. Looking for the high screen. Osma down low for Williams, tipped away. Nichols now reset to the shot clock at 5. Will take a 16-footer and gets the shooter's touch.
Great job by Samaya to command the ball with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Use the ball screen. They didn't come out and help, and she had that mid-range jumper.
Nichols a season ago, maybe more of a driver, certainly physical, really worked on her shot in the offseason. And you saw it on display there, off the screen.
Kanisha over helping out. We talked about the 2 players from Spain being in there. Good rotation, good help defense.
And then 1 on the inbound now. Nielsen spins, fires, tough shot, and hits it. Alyssa Nielsen averaged better than 8 a game a season ago.
And that's really what she does. She loves those tough 2s, has that range from about 17 to 19 foot. That's exactly what she does well.
Nichols being guarded by the freshman Smith at the point guard spot. Pretty good assignment for the Lindenwood youngster. There goes Canessa. Driving kick now to Osma. Osma on the spin, hits, but it's going to be a traveling violation.
I think Brandon Schneider's going to take that play back to the film room and say, Samaya Nichols had a mismatch on the block, and they needed to get the ball inside. She had a size and experience advantage, and she didn't get a touch.
And Nichols, one of their better post-up players, despite being the point guard, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's so versatile. She can score from anywhere on the court.
Williams had a knock away for a second from Odom. Shot clock at 8. Got it to Brueggemann. Now to Odom. Spin in the lane. Too strong. Canessa traveled on the dribble drive. Wyatt Canessa last year a little hampered by injuries, but back full strength. Did get quite a bit of playing time in her freshman year, 18 games, but really was probably not healthy all season long, and just had got off to a slow start injury-wise, and never really caught up, but a valuable season a year ago, and expects to be part of the rotation this go-round, especially tonight without Yvette Mayberry.
Right.
We'll see Canessa handling the backup point guard duties as well. Knocked out of bounds by Nichols. Lindenwood will inbound near the Kansas bench.
Good awareness by Nichols to not allow that pass across. Just jumped into the passing lane, knocked it out of bounds. Always aware of what's happening on both ends of the court.
Evans back in for Osma. Here's the point guard, Smith. Bounce on the block. A little fadeaway jumper is missed by Nielsen. Rebound to Kansas, looking to run. Court, they got it to Evans. Now Nichols had a step, drives to the hole, but can't finish. But draws the foul on Odom.
That is the strength of Samaya Nichols. We have seen a little bit of all of her skill sets tonight, but when she puts the ball on the floor and gets a head of steam, if you don't get over there and get in position to draw a charge, she's going to take body contact and go up strong with the shot. She didn't finish that time, but she is so good at getting to the free throw line.
Second foul on Odom. We'll have a seat for Lindenwood. Brooke Coffey back into the lineup. Also in for the first time, Mary McGrath. The lone, or actually one of two seniors on this Lindenwood squad, wearing number 21.
Both Evans and Harshaw decided to leave the lane, and Brandon Schneider says, get back there. She just missed the first free throw. Nichols isn't going to miss a lot of free throws, but he was not having them clear out of the lane and miss an opportunity here.
Took the most on the squad last year, 201 trips to the free throw line, and was an 83% clip. So she doesn't miss a lot from there.
Yeah, it's a big part of her game. She gets to the line, and she's very efficient at the line.
Nielsen for Lindenwood. Brueggemann so far, 3 shots, all from the arc. Has yet to hit her first. Shot clock down to 3. Looking for the back cut to Coffey. Lost her footing, and hopefully she's okay. An awkward fall as the shot clock violation ensues. Looked like Coffey's okay.
Yeah, nice cut back door. It was the right pass against the defense. If she would have just been able to turn and go up for the layup, she kind of stopped and allowed the defense to get there and fell awkwardly to the floor.
Nichols on the crossover, gets to the lane and is fouled.
Are they going to call that on the floor or on the shot? Yeah, on the shot. They're going to have her go to the rim. Just look at Nichols, how strong she is. You're not going to get in out-strong her kind of match. That's a freshman that is learning and playing against one of the top players in the Big 12 Conference. No, they said it's on the floor. It's not on the. I thought the foul might have been before she went into
Nichols
shooting
looks
mode.
like a 5-year vet. She's just a sophomore too, right?
Yeah.
It looked like a senior on a freshman, didn't it?
No doubt.
Missed 3 from Evans.
All her international experience and what she has done to prepare to be here at this level, not unexpected.
Kansas forces the turnover. Harshaw skip past Evans, corner 3. off the back iron, no good. So Elle Evans off to a slow start. She's going to be a volume shooter for the Jayhawks. 0 for 5, though, to start this one, including 3 misses from the arc. But last year at North Dakota State, shot 46% from the three-point arc, better than 15 a game, and she's got the green light in her first season here in Lawrence. Shot is missed. Kansas will not get a final shot of the quarter, but lead it 11-5.
Teams to the shot blocker. She also just cleaned up everything rebounding-wise. So there's a lot of new players. They didn't know what it was like here last year, so they all need to participate in the rebounding. You got to have a lot of guards, and guards don't always have that rebounding mentality, and it's something that this team needs to do well this year because they don't have that size inside.
Reagan Williams whistled for the foul on the screen. So Williams at 6'3", Evans listed at 6'3". Williams will play the biggest spot on the floor at times down low for Kansas. Evans, of course, primarily on the perimeter, good three-point shooter. Harshaw listed at 6'1". So it's just a guard-oriented squad, but they get that shot to fall from the arc, and there are going to be times they're going to be putting up a bunch of points. Here's a drive to the baseline for Brueggemann. Their leading scorer from a season ago hits her first bucket. Averaged 14 a game last year.
Yeah, she has tried 3 three-pointers and just hasn't gotten into a rhythm. So you see coming out of the quarter break, going and finding and hunting a shot so that she can find some kind of rhythm offensively.
Force a traveling violation now on Copeland. Turnover back to Lindenwood. Talking with Amy Egan, the second-year head coach, earlier today, said last year they were just putting a new program in place. They had a whole bunch of freshmen. This year went much differently in the offseason. A lot of more of a comfort level for this squad, but they'll lean a lot on the 9 sophomores, including Brueggemann, who just missed the top of the circle 3 a second ago. She's going to be their volume shooter.
Nice.
Williams on the drive, but is going to be fouled up top.
That's a good read by Williams. So that's the change, too. When you have Tiana Jackson in the past, she's on the block. Look how wide open that lane is. And look at this rip-through move by Williams to just drive. There's all sorts of space now in the lane. And when she rips through like that and goes to her right hand, she has a bigger defender on her, and she's able to draw a foul there because she uses her quickness to get around.
Kansas on the inbound. Foul was whistled on Stewart. That's her first. Williams from the outside from 16, no good.
Good little two-player game between Williams and Nichols, but I think Nichols could have taken a dribble or 2 more to try to put more pressure on the defense.
Cunningham through the lane, blocked by Nichols. Nichols will get it back through traffic. Tried to thread one to Williams, and out of bounds. Kansas, though, will maintain.
Brandon Schneider wants this team to push tempo and push ahead, but Nichols may have tried to force that just a little bit too much. A little too much defense there. Good anticipation by the Lindenwood defense.
Might a bounce pass got there?
Yeah, it might have. That's a tough pass on the run, though, with all those defenders around.
Nadir El Tayeb back in the Kansas lineup at a post spot. Nichols now trying to post up. Get it to her, though, in the corner. Try for the pick and roll, and stolen away by Lindenwood. Nice job defensively that time, and the help from Mariah Stewart. Cunningham. Very athletic point guard for Lindenwood. At the end of their warm-up, she jumped up and grabbed the rim with both hands.
Impressive.
And she's listed at 5'10".
Now Stewart has that size inside and can kind of take advantage of the fact that Kansas doesn't have that rim protector this year, but couldn't finish.
Nichols off the screen, knocks down the 3.
Good ball movement to set that up. Nichols always shot ready.
Nichols 40% beyond the arc a season ago, knocked down 30 threes. Will be a bigger part of her game this year. Stewart now asking for the clear out. Brueggemann off the screen. Shot clock already down to 5. Get it inside Stewart. Turnaround jumper is missed. Kansas looking to push. Forced up ahead and up and over the head of Copeland, out of bounds. Subs both ways. Knessa and Ozma back into the Kansas lineup.
Kansas trying to push pace, trying to get out and score in transition. Just haven't found that rhythm yet. Give Lindenwood credit. They're being scrappy defensively and not giving up anything easy, but Kansas needs to use that pace, but then find the open player, not force.
Nice cut to the basket and a bucket for Wernley.
And that's where Lindenwood has all that space in the lane as well, opening it up. Nice cut into the paint that time.
Wernley, the transfer from Abilene Christian for Lindenwood. Also in the Lindenwood lineup, Tiana Wynn. She's a junior out of nearby Wichita. By way of Butler County Community College. Harshaw knocks down the 3.
Shot ready by Harshaw, ready to drain it.
Nichols knocks away the pass from Scoff. Turnover back the other way. Here's Harshaw again from the wing. This one too strong. Ozma through the lane. And the putback. Nice offensive board and stick back for the freshman Carla Ozma.
That's how you earn some playing time, freshman. Get in and get on the offensive boards. Excellent work by Ozma.
So Ozma's first point as a Jayhawk. Did not score in the exhibition game. Was the only Kansas player not to score in the exhibition game. But gets one here for real. Knessa gets dirty and knocks it away. Lindenwood, though, does maintain. Shot clock down to 5. The 3 is fired up and missed by Wernley. Rebound to Knessa. Trailer is Nichols. Airball 3. Ozma there for the rebound, but double dribble.
Yeah. Good hustle to get the offensive rebound, but kind of lost track of things and committed the violation.
Nielsen and Brueggemann back into the Lindenwood lineup. Copeland back into the Kansas lineup, replacing Nichols. So both teams pretty heavy to the bench here in this opening half. Lindenwood's already played 11. 8 for Kansas here in this opening half. Coach Egan said wants to play probably 8 or 9 deep. Ideally. Says it's a team that eventually will get to a little more pressure defense. Didn't expect to throw the full court press tonight, but they're a team that wants to press and push the pace. Stolen away by Ozma. The rip from Brueggemann and finishes at the other end. So a couple of second quarter buckets for the freshman out of Spain.
Good hustle play by Ozma. She got the offensive rebound and scored before, picked up another offensive board before she traveled, and that time defensively got herself into the gap to get the steal.
7 straight points for Kansas. Here's Smith, goes to the baseline, spins. Help defense comes, but El Tayeb commits the foul. We've hit just past the midpoint of the second quarter. Carla Ozma, the freshman out of Spain, with the rip and run. Kansas their largest lead at 12. 4:07 to go here in the second quarter. This is the regular season opener for Kansas. First of 4 games here at home to start the season. Then a neutral site game with Iowa, and then a really good tournament they'll be playing in the Virgin Islands. That pit game, the first game of the opening tournament at the Thanksgiving holiday.
Been to that one a few times. A lot of fun in St. Thomas. Always good competition, and you get 3 games in 3 days, so it's pretty intense. But good for the Jayhawks to have those first 4 games at home to prepare for that game in Sioux Falls, South Dakota against Iowa. A team that's also reloading a lot this year, to say the least, right?
There may be a little bit of a scoring void to fill on that team this upcoming season.
I don't know why you say that.
They reloaded okay, though. I think that's going to be a good game early on in the season. Nice little non-conference matchup for Kansas and Iowa. Turnover back to Lindenwood. Brueggemann handling out front, their top scorer of a season ago. 2 points thus far. Lindenwood 0 from the arc, 0 for 7, and turnovers have been a little bit of an issue here in this opening half as well. We have a possession arrow tie-up now, and it will point to Lindenwood.
Knessa and Ozma both have played well here in the second quarter. Just hustle plays. You mentioned it, Knessa missed the first 10 games of last year, just was injured most of the year, so it's fun to see her play and what she's going to be contributing as she loves to get out and make some things happen.
Knessa getting a breather now with Nichols back in. Here's Wynn, the Wichita product. Handing off now to Brueggemann. Shot clock already down to 4. They tried to throw it inside. It's poked away, and a shot clock violation. So Kansas has done a nice job of forcing Lindenwood to use a bunch of clock at this end of the floor.
We talked about it with Kansas. They don't have that big shot blocker at the back, but they've got a lot of length in all of their guards, and they're putting a lot of pressure on the ball. And even though Lindenwood likes to cut, run a little of that Princeton offense, a lot of cutting, Kansas has stayed with them really well.
You mentioned a lot of the changes for this Kansas team this year. You talked to Coach Brandon a little bit about it, and he's having a good time with a different kind of system this year, is he not? Harshaw knocks down the top of the key 3.
He really is, and Brandon talked to me about the fact that he feels really fortunate that he was a head coach at a young age. He was at Emporia State, led them to a national championship back in 2010. But he said we would do all we could to recruit the best players, and then we would figure out a system that fit our strengths once we got them on campus. And it really taught him a lot of different styles of play that has prepared him for this year.
Blocking foul on the run out. Williams to the hoop and 1. Off the assist from Nichols. Jayhawks a quick run from the rim that time, and the freshman Reagan Williams.
And Coach Brandon talked to me about the fact that Reagan Williams, what he loves about her is her motor. She is undersized at that post position, but there is no one that works harder on the floor than she does, and you saw a little bit of that hustle on that trip down the court.
Williams, the freshman out of Kansas City, knocks down the free throw. And the Jayhawks have now put together 13 straight points. Led by Brittany Harshaw, the sophomore transfer from Creighton. Knocked down 3 first half threes. Nielsen for 3 for Lindenwood. Nice job flashing across the lane. Williams with the rebound. Again, she had 10 in the Washburn exhibition game. Nichols just too strong to blow by on Wornley.
Now, one-on-one, it is very difficult to defend Nichols when she gets ahead of steam and starts toward the rim.
And those shoulders get past, and it's over, isn't it?
You got to have someone step over and provide a little help defense.
Brueggemann quarter 3, in and out. Rebound, Harshaw, Kansas. She goes drive to the baseline now. Cut off. Good ball movement. Copeland for 3. Then went back the other way patiently. Now the point guard, Michaela Cunningham, back in. Nearly threw it into the Kansas bench, saved by Nielsen. Cunningham on the drive, little hesitation, draws the double team. Skips in the corner, Wernley, high arcing three is missed. Check that, Bergman, and a rebound, knocked out of bounds. And Lindenwood will have it out of bounds for Williams.
Good hustle and good block out by Williams, but just can't get there soon enough. It was Harshaw earlier in the play that gave some nice help defense and then got back out to the shooter. And you're just seeing a lot of grittiness with this Kansas defense to hold Lindenwood to just 9 points here in the first half. They have been very connected defensively and not allowed Lindenwood to get anything easy.
Samaya Nichols whistle for the foul. The bump on Brooke Coffey. So Lindenwood will inbound. Coach Brandon Schneider with Stephen Davis. A little chat before the game today. We'll hear some of that coming up here at halftime. His thoughts on the first exhibition game and now getting the regular season underway for this new look Jayhawk squad. Cunningham on the dribble. Nice drive to the hole by Michaela Cunningham. Sophomore out of Salina, Kansas.
She has some explosiveness in that time. The Kansas help defense wasn't there in time.
Ends the 15-0 Kansas run with the bucket for Cunningham. Williams, shoe untied, will set a screen. Now Nichols loses her defender, pulls up from 15, can't quite hit. And a rebound, foul on Williams, or just out of bounds. Actually, it will be on Williams. That'll be her second. So Williams will check out. Osman will check in. And you want a different look now? Williams, who's kind of a tweener, kind of the biggest post presence for Kansas right now. Kansas going to 5 guards.
Yeah, there's not a post player on the court.
Nielsen on the drive, trying to beat the clock. Off the iron. Harshaw the tip, but right into the hands of Scoff, who missed the buddy at the buzzer. So Kansas stingy on defense.
Pair up in the backcourt, but there's Mayberry on the bench.
Mayberry handled the point guard duties for about 3/4 of the season last year, then kind of shifted over the 2 guard, and they let Samaya Nichols do the primary handling down the stretch, and she's settled into that role. She's going to be a valuable piece. Has been her entire career here in Kansas on the defensive end, but her ability to get free in the corners especially and free up some threes will be big. Post-up opportunity there for Nichols, and you mentioned she can do it all, but that's a big strength of hers as well, to be able to muscle down low.
Yeah, I mean, she's such a great ball handler, so Cunningham, the point guard, is defending her, but she has such a size and strength advantage that she can post her up.
Odom on the drive, had it knocked away by Copeland out of bounds. Odom had a couple of first half fouls on the post spot for Lindenwood, so had rather limited minutes in the first half, but went right to work here to begin the second. Played just 6 minutes in the opening half before a couple of fouls. Lindenwood led in the first half by just about everybody, but they only had 2 points each, and 11 in the opening half, so certainly they struggled at the offensive end. Got it inside to Odom. She's fouled by Reagan Williams, and the freshman Williams will pick up her 3rd personal foul just into the 3rd quarter. So the freshman will have to have a seat. Nadir El Tayeb will spell her at the 5 spot.
Yeah, Williams was trying to be physical down here, but watch how she gets underneath and kind of shoves with her leg and her arm. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot of physical play like that during the course of the year, but you can't displace that offensive player.
A steal from Cunningham and the finish. So back-to-back buckets for Lindenwood as Cunningham gets the steal after the Coffey layup. They steal on the backcourt, and back-to-back scores for Lindenwood. Nichols on the dribble, trying to muscle in the lane again. Draws the contact, off the window and good. Doesn't get the foul, but muscles home the bucket And Nichols now with 14.
Lindenwood running that switching defense out on the perimeter, so Cunningham didn't defend Maya Nichols for a little bit, and then she got back on her, and Nichols just took her right into the paint.
Pass is knocked away by Kansas, out of bounds to Lindenwood. They'll inbound in front of their own bench. Picked for 7th in the OVC were the Lions, and still making that transition to D1, which also includes no postseason NCAA appearances if they were to qualify, which is kind of an interesting twist on progressing to D1.
Yeah, and Amy Egan said as she recruited these players on this team, it's a process. And so it's going to take a while to get into that transition phase, and everybody was in for it to build this program.
Brooke Coffey, the baseline jumper, transfer from Illinois State. Now leads with back-to-back, or 2 buckets, I should say, here in the second half with 6. Missed by Nichols. Cunningham needs some help, does not get it, and tied up. They will have the possession arrow, though. Well, Lindenwood.
Cunningham getting some valuable minutes here. Cunningham, valuable minutes. The Salina, Kansas native loves to drive downhill. She is so much the heartbeat of this team.
Trying to find Brueggemann, knocked away by Harshaw and out of bounds. There's a look at Brittany Harshaw, the sophomore from Andover, Kansas.
And she transferred from Creighton, and she looks a lot like a Creighton player, but they were just so veteran last year. One of those, where all those players getting their extra years with COVID, and she just couldn't find her time in the rotation, and she's found it here at Kansas.
Brueggemann the miss from 3. Wernley got the stick back. El Tayeb was whistled for the foul. And the foul after the make. So the layup is good for Wernley. And Lindenwood will also get the basketball back on the foul from El Tayeb. That'll be the 3rd on El Tayeb as well.
Gotta give Lindenwood a lot of credit here. They only scored 11 points in the first half, and they have outscored the Jayhawks 8-4 here in the 3rd quarter.
Denai Papadopoulou in for the first time, the senior center out of Greece, wearing number 14. Did not play in the opening half. Shot clock down to 5. Odom trying to dump down to Coffey. She spins on Copeland and hits. So 3 buckets here in the second half for Brooke Coffey.
Yeah, she is an undersized 5 player, but can play the 4 as well. We saw her with that face-up game the last time down the court, that time showing some of her post skills.
Evans held scoreless in the first half. Now to Harshaw in the corner. Back to Evans. Thought about 3. Will drive instead. Pull up shot from 15. Missed. Got her own rebound.
And that's because Papadopoulou was taking care of a couple of players underneath the basket.
That's a clear out. Here's Nichols changing gears again. Steps through a couple defenders and draws the foul.
Denai Papadopoulou getting her first action, sets the screen there. And Nichols just muscling her way in to get another chance to go to the free throw line. But Papadopoulou, I loved it because she was basically keeping at least 2 Lindenwood players under the basket. There might have been a 3rd one there, and that allowed Harshaw to come in, get the rebound. She should get some kind of assist for that.
Just like offensive linemen, they never get credit, right?
Exactly.
They
That's
cleared all the real estate.
That's exactly what she did.
Nichols hits the free throw. Coffey was whistled for the foul on the reach in, her first. Scoff back into the Lindenwood lineup. At a guard spot. Nielsen also in for Lindenwood. Nichols and Evans will check out. Osma and Canessa into the Kansas lineup. Here's a look at Samaya Nichols, 16 points here in the opener. For the preseason All-Big 12 performer, was in the All-Big 12 team a season ago, All-Freshman team as well. And a Naismith Player of the Year watch list as well to her early season resume. Here's Odom to work, trying to spin, and travels. Papadopoulou held fort down on the post and forces the travel.
She sure did. She had some great defense, moved her feet as Odom tried to face up, just stayed there, anticipated that move, did not let her get by. Nice defense from Papadopoulou.
Harshaw off the bounce. Misses. Papadopoulou the rebound and putback.
Didn't rush, got the ball, took her time, used that leverage of her lower body against the defensive player, and a nice little baby hook.
Nice couple of minutes for Pop off the bench. Taking advantage of some foul trouble of the two posts ahead of her in the pecking order. Hornley looking to bounce inside out of Odom. Odom picks up her dribble. 3 Jayhawks converge. Skip pass now. Scoff will fire from 3. That one's short. Harshaw the rebound. Here's Copeland, the Wisconsin transfer. On the drive. Flips it up. It's the underside of the backboard. Lindenwood now looking to run. Do not have numbers. 2 on 3, but Nielsen takes it and is fouled by Papadopoulou. Going to the hole, 2 free throws for Alyssa Nielsen. Timing on the floor will take one as well. Free throws coming for Lindenwood when we come back. Jayhawks lead it by 16.
Together, we're elevating our potential and opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Well, everybody, welcome. We do appreciate everybody coming out today.
Lemonade, 25 cents.
Good. He's doing good.
Got it. We did it!
I got this, okay? We're good.
It's estimated between now and 2050, we're going to add 1.7 billion people to the planet. The more people, the more energy. The United States is doing its part, rising to become the #1 oil and gas producing nation on Earth, all the while reducing our emissions year over year. And that makes sense here in Kansas, where it's mostly local producers that live in your own town. They care about your environment because it's their environment too. Do your own research at kansasstrong.com.
Every story has a beginning. My story is unique. It's filled with challenges, molded by circumstances, wired into my very being. But it's not just about the past. It's about the future. Protecting what matters and staying focused on your goals. Because in the end, it's my story. And it's still being written.
Together, we're elevating our potential and opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Just past the midpoint of the third. Jayhawks lead it by 16. And I guess those are all Samaya Nichols' points. She has 16, which would be the difference. The Jayhawk point guard, 6 here in the second half after her 10-point first half. And boy, her ability to drive and use her strength, and saw her post up as well. Knocked down a 3 in the first half, but she can do it all.
And she can get her shoulders by that defender. It's going to be really tough to stop her. But then when she gets in that pick and roll game, she makes good decisions with the basketball, setting up her teammates around, or she can go post up. So you have to figure out how to defend her because she provides so many different weapons for the Jayhawks.
Alyssa Nielsen, 1 of 2 at the line out of the timeout for Lindenwood. Osma, shot clock down to 5, forces one up. Can't go. Brueggemann on the rebound for Lindenwood.
I thought Knessa had the drive to the basket and decided to kick out earlier in that play. I bet she was past her defender.
Here's the freshman point guard Smith on the drive, and she's bumped on the way through. Foul was on Osma, her first. The 2 shooters for each squad, both a little bit cold. Evans for Kansas, 0 for 6 is scoreless here in her debut. And Brueggemann averaged almost 14 a game last year. 2 points on 1 for 9 shooting. So the 2 kind of marquee players have been cold. Here's Brueggemann. Missed the 3. Tried to track down her own rebound. Teammate Scoff, though, gets another possession for Lindenwood.
She knew that was off. Shooters know right away, right? She went and hustled and got that offensive rebound for an extra possession.
And Evans on Brueggemann at the moment. Backdoor cut is thrown up and out of bounds. Intended for Scoff. Turnover back to Kansas. Each team operating offensively in front of their own bench here in the second half. Nichols off the screen. Knessa from a wing 3. No good. Battle for the rebound. Stewart wins it for Lindenwood. Smith on the drive. Evans tried to block it over the top, but commits the foul. Freshman Kiara Smith going to the free throw line for 2.
Elle Evans has such length. She doesn't need to do that. Just give herself some space to get that block shot. It kind of ended up leaning as Cunningham used her Smith used her quickness to get past.
Harshaw in for Osma in the Kansas lineup. Meanwhile, Lindenwood comes back with 4 players. Everybody but the free throw shooter Smith. Wernley, Brueggemann, Odom, and Coffey all back in. Smith misses the first. And if she doesn't want subbed out, she'll also miss the second. Because Cunningham is waiting.
Strategy.
Yeah,
strategy.
She got her own rebound back. And she got another, 30 seconds or
there
so,
you go,
at
there
least,
you go.
right? So Smith, the freshman point guard, handling. Now to Odom, looking for a backdoor cutter. Brueggemann, baseline jumper hits her second made field goal. She's a 3-point shooter, but both have come inside the arc.
Yeah, and sometimes the 3-point shot just isn't there. Kansas defending it well, and she's found a couple of mid-range jumpers.
Nichols going to work on Wernley. Wernley falls down. Bounce pass and a backdoor cut for Williams for the lay-in.
And both defenders there got caught looking at Samaya Nichols and just lost track of Williams inside.
Great play, too, because Nichols could have taken that shot.
Yeah.
Get an open look, right? But
good unselfish play.
Going to distribute, find the freshman Williams. Williams with 5. Williams back in as well with her 3 fouls here in the second half. A little floater is missed from Brueggemann. Harshaw will get a look from 3. Too strong. 2 Lindenwood players battle for the rebound. Coffey ends up coming away with it. Ran into her teammate Odom, but they are able to keep the possession.
Another 10-second count. Smith really lost track of time. You can't take your time in the backcourt. You got to get it over the half-court mark, and it's real obvious because the officials are looking at the shot clock. When it hits under 20, when it hits 20, you have a 10-second violation.
I guess she didn't want to stay in. She had the free throws to stay in a minute ago. Could have still stayed in had she not committed the 10-second violation. So Cunningham back into point guard spot. Scoff also back in. On the drive is Harshaw, and will draw 2 free throws.
Harshaw had an opportunity there off the screen just to go 1-on-1. Had a bit of a size advantage and was able to get in there and draw the foul.
We've talked about what seemingly is going to be a Kansas team that will shoot a lot of threes, but they also have the ability to go off the dribble. Obviously, we've seen Nichols do that, but both Evans and Harshaw, two of the newcomers, and Williams, for that matter, who's playing essentially an undersized 5 spot, can all take it off the dribble. So that'll be a big part of the offense as well.
And I love that Harshaw won in high school the Greater Wichita Area Sports Commission Lynette Woodard Female Athlete of the Year.
There you go.
And she was destined to be here at Kansas, just had to take a little detour through Creighton for a year.
And she helped force the turnover here, thrown in the Lindenwood bench. There's a look at Harshaw, also a high school track high jump champ.
Yep.
4x400 as well. State champion in Andover, Kansas.
Nice pass there.
Look for Samaya Nichols off the Harshaw assist.
And Harshaw actually spent 2 years at Creighton. 1 year was a redshirt season. But she is going to be a nice addition to this Kansas lineup.
Coffee on the drive. Muscles past Samaya Nichols. Nice job by Brooke Coffey, who's shown a spark here in the second half with 8 points.
Coffey using her strength, putting the ball on the floor. Just a really strong player, taking advantage of that size.
After just 2 in the first half, she's got 8 here in the second. Coffey, the transfer from Illinois State, and Coach Egan said she might not know how much she can contribute yet at this level, but they expect a lot of her in a transfer from Illinois State. Here's Williams with a nice shot from the elbow.
And that's a tough 2. Nice stroke.
Canessa hassling Cunningham out front, nearly got the turnover. Coffey into the corner. 3 to beat the buzzer, does not fall for Wernley. And that'll end the third. Bill Self squad.
Love it. Love it when the top 10 teams meet early in the year. You get kind of an idea of what both of them will look like this year.
Just a little bit of history between Kansas and North Carolina.
No doubt.
Intertwining storylines. Sanaya Copeland was whistled for the foul. Check that, that was on Williams. So Williams picks up her 4th on the push-off. And Nadir El Tayeb back in the Kansas lineup. Shots fired up by Scoff from 3, no good.
Josh,
rebound to Lindenwood.
And you and I were talking about this at the break. Lindenwood actually outscored Kansas by 1 point, 15-14 in the third quarter. They only scored 11 points, Lindenwood, in the first half. So they outscored that number in the third quarter alone. And they still haven't hit a 3-pointer. They're 0 for 15 from 3-point range.
So credit Amy Egan's squad for hanging in and really not backing down here in the third quarter, now entering the fourth.
And they've got a great little cheering section here. A lot of black shirts over there behind the Lindenwood bench.
Saw a lot of the Coffey family made the trip. I'm guessing the 2 Kansas products had some players in the building here tonight as well, or some family in the building here tonight as well. In Cunningham and Wynn. Here's a corner 3 from Brueggemann. In and out. Rebound, Canessa of Kansas. Brueggemann's tough shooting night continues. She's got 4 points, but 0 for 10 from beyond the arc. Evans still scoreless for Kansas. She kicks to Canessa, fires home the 3.
Shot ready. Canessa was in position, got her feet and hands in place, ready for the shot.
Ryan Canessa, the sophomore out of Barcelona, Spain. And that's her first made 3 of her Jayhawk career. I was double checking. She did not make one a season ago. And gets her first here in her sophomore campaign. Lindenwood foul far from the bucket.
Yeah, last year, Canessa, in her limited time, was 0 for 12 from beyond the arc. So that has got to feel so good to get her first official three-pointer as a Jayhawk.
Played in 18 games a season ago, but again, started the year injured and averaged just under 6 minutes a game. Play 18 appearances, but not a lot of playing time in live action last year.
Yeah, it was hard to get playing time with Holly Kurzgeter and Zakiya Franklin and Mayberry, who's not playing tonight. So, you know, it's her time now. It's her time to step in.
Brueggemann hits the free throw. Jayhawks indeed replacing 7 players from a season ago, including Holly Kurzgeter, you mentioned, the 5th leading scorer in school history. Zakiya Franklin, the 6th leading scorer in school history. And the #1 shot blocker and #3 rebounder in school history in Tiana Jackson. Harshaw turned down the long 3 there. Now to Nichols. Nichols on the drive, draws 2 defenders, and the foul.
Even a double team comes at Samaya Nichols here, and she just takes it up, draws the foul. So good at getting to the free throw line because she's just so strong, and she is going to go up through and over defenders to get herself at the charity stripe.
The coffee whistle for the foul. Her second.
I'll give you a second Lynette Woodard reference in this broadcast. You know, Samaya Nichols last year, #2 to only Lynette Woodard in freshman scoring average last year. Now, she was about 10 points behind Lynette Woodard, who averaged 25 points a game her freshman year.
Yeah, if you want a fun exercise, just grab the KU women's record book and just look at Lynette Woodard's stats throughout the all-timers. It's amazing.
It's just so important for people to know that history and know what Lynette has done for this program and for this sport. Got a lot of attention last year as Caitlin Clark moved past the NCAA record, but then also past Lynette's record that was set during the AIAW period.
Cunningham, the corner 3 is off the back iron. So Lindenwood still without a three-pointer, 0 for 18 from the arc.
Oh, Samaya Nichols looks like she's hurting a little bit.
Maybe knock knees. Osma fires for 3. No good. Harshaw tracks down the rebound. Good job in space again for Harshaw, who's got 7 boards to go along with 9 points.
And that's just going to be so important this year for Kansas. Without that post presence to be there to get all the rebounds, the guards have to go be active, especially on the offensive boards.
Osma put on the line for 2. And as the shot clock was winding down. Cunningham on the drive. Gets past Canessa, who had drawn an elbow, but commits the foul. And took one off the nose.
Cunningham, really strong, explosive with the ball. Does catch Canessa there, but aggressive play for Cunningham. Just that player that creates a lot of activity on the court on both ends for Lindenwood.
Averaged close to 8 points, better than 2 assists last year at the point guard spot as a freshman on her sophomore campaign. She's from nearby Salina, Kansas, as Cunningham hits the first. Warnley, Nielsen, and Odom back into the Lindenwood lineup. I think Canessa may be bleeding from the nose, and she'll get a stoppage of play here. The ball tipped out of bounds. It will be to Lindenwood, and Canessa's going to have to check out. She alerted the officials she might be bleeding.
Trying to get her taken care of quickly so she can get back on the court. And nice work.
Looked like Morso just kind of cleaned up the blood on her hand and looked like her nose was still bleeding, but didn't have to check out. So Lindenwood on the inbound as they had the ball knocked out after the free throw. Scoff bounced it off her foot.
Oh.
Odom had it.
Good hustle by Odom, though. She was down on the floor and scrapping and trying to get her hands on it. Nice rotation over. Was that Evans that came over on that one and just kind of created some havoc there on good help side defense.
Full court pressure now from Lindenwood. Scoff steals the inbound, flips it up, and missed it. Osmo the rebound.
You got to take advantage of that. Good hustle by Scoff to get the rebound. You got to finish.
Evans from the corner, no good. Osma the rebound and putback. Carla Osma, the freshman out of Spain, with a putback bucket. She's got 6. And the Kansas lead back to 20. Time on the floor will take one as well. 6.5 to go here in the fourth. Kansas by 20. .6:31 to go in the fourth. Kansas leading by 20. Jayhawks have 20 from Samaya Nichols, and then Elle Evans still scoreless in her Jayhawk debut. Brittany Harshaw though with 9. Reagan Williams, the freshman, with 7. And Carla Osma has been impressive. 6 points, 4 rebounds off the bench.
Yeah, I really like
Jayhawks.
the energy that she brings to the court.
Kick out for Scoff to try to beat the shot clock. Good box out by Sanaya Copeland for the rebound for Kansas.
You know, it's a good box out when the ball drops in the middle and you have to go get it, right?
Here's Evans and Harshaw. Harshaw the crossover, the blow by, and didn't get the finish. Nielsen the rebound. Had everything but the drop for Harshaw. Cunningham back the other way for Lindenwood. Nielsen thought about 3, instead goes drive, and the sea parts, and she drives in for the lay-in. Alyssa Nielsen with the dribble drive to the hole. Nielsen now with 5.
The last couple of possessions for Lindenwood. Nice work spreading the court and reversing the basketball, moving it to break down the Jayhawk defense.
They outscored Kansas in the third quarter. After scoring just 11 in the first half, they sit now at 32, so much better second half for the visitors. Cunningham on the bounce. Warrenly, shot clock at 8. She'll have a step back 3 here, left it short. Rebound to Harshaw. Harshaw now with 8 boards to go along with 9 points. And tries to drive through. It will be a charging violation on Harshaw. Timeout on the floor will take one as well. Kansas by 18. The red-hot Jayhawk soccer team in action over nearby Kansas City, the Big 12 Championship semifinals. Raina Knutz, the senior, knocking home the goal just before halftime. 6-seed Kansas under first-year head coach Nate Lee. They have been hot down the stretch, and they lead second-seed Texas Tech at halftime. The winner gets top-seed TCU coming up on Saturday in Kansas City. Catch the second half of that Kansas game right here as well on ESPN+.
I love it. They are playing at CPKC Stadium, the first stadium built for a professional women's sports team in the world, right in Kansas City, and the Big 12 taking advantage of that, hosting their Big 12 championship there. It's fun to see, and what a great goal for Kansas right before halftime.
And the NCAA coming there next year for their soccer championship, so going to be a fun continuing soccer story in Kansas City.
Yeah, and the NWSL championship is going to be held there in just a couple of weeks.
Bergman at the free throw line for Lindenwood. Again, their leading scorer last year at almost 14 a game. Has struggled from the field tonight, but has been knocking down her free throws.
You know, and she had a tough year last year. She got sick in January and just wasn't able to play full health throughout the rest of the season. I went through her numbers. She still had good numbers, but she just wasn't feeling well. And talking to Amy Egan, the head coach, before the game, she said, yeah, she's finally back feeling healthy and 100%.
So Brueggemann with 9 after knocking down the free throw. She's 5 for 5 at the free throw line, but an excellent three-point shooter. 0 for 11, though, from the arc tonight. In fact, Lindenwood 0 for 21 in the game. They've hung in here in the second half, Brenda.
Yeah.
At the moment, they have outscored Kansas in the second half.
I mean, if they just hit a couple of those threes, this game would be awfully interesting.
Canessa in and out on the three. Williams tried to put back, but airballs it.
You have to give Kansas a lot of credit, knowing that three-point shooting is a strength for Lindenwood, and really just getting a hand in the face every time that they are trying to attempt a three-pointer. Every three-point shot has been contested, and that's why Lindenwood hasn't hit one yet.
Brueggemann's contested there as well, fired up the air ball, but Wernley snuck in for the rebound and was fouled by Canessa. Second foul on Jayhawks. Wyatt Canessa. So Gracie Wernley will be at the free throw line. Transfer from Abilene Christian. Our horn now stuck.
Oh boy. Okay.
There we go, they got it.
We got it.
Wernley was an AAU teammate of both Ellie Brueggemann, and Alyssa Nielsen was also a high school teammate of Nielsen as well, and got her to come play this season at Lindenwood. And she's expected to be another impact player, also one of the 9 sophomores. So 6 straight points now for Lindenwood. Jayhawks have missed their last 4 shots.
As much as Brandon Schneider wants this team to be a high pace, fire up a lot of threes, score in transition, they haven't scored a lot of points tonight, and they have to figure that out game by game as everybody fits into their new roles again. Yvette Mayberry not playing in today's game, so that's another veteran guard that's not on the court. So a lot of new faces figuring it out, what they are doing within this system.
So Brueggemann will fire it back in. Not a coffee. She's had a nice second half for Lindenwood. Her little post-up jumpers missed. Rebound to Kansas. Stolen though. Wernley on the steal and finish.
You don't want to dribble behind your back in traffic, and there were 2 Lindenwood defenders there, and Canessa turns it over.
And Lindenwood now within 12 with 3 to go. Now, hopefully not an interesting developing story here, Brenda, as Samaya Nichols is on the Kansas bench. She leads with 20. You mentioned earlier, it looked like she was hobbling a little bit. She's got a bit of a brace now on her right knee. Maybe just precautionary, just kind of keeping her out of the mix right now with the big lead, but she's sitting over on the Kansas bench as this one's getting a little bit close for comfort. And there's a look at Nichols.
And Nichols has had some knee injuries in her career, in her high school time. It's
senior season, right?
Yeah, you hope that that's not something that's too serious, but she does get her brace on.
So hopefully just kind of precautionary, and it was a 20-point lead, now down to 14. Nichols with 20 to lead Kansas, the only double-figure score at the moment for the Jayhawks. Harshaw had 9 in the first half, it's scoreless here in the second. Williams also with 9. You see her kind of limping a bit back to the bench, so the Jayhawks playing without their 2 backcourt players. Mayberry, who sat out tonight, and now Nichols here down the stretch. Hopefully she'll be okay. Into the backcourt now to Cunningham for Lindenwood. 2.5 to go. Nielsen on the drive. Got back door. Harshaw the rebound. Had it poked away for a moment. Williams has it for Kansas. Brueggemann jumped the passing lane, but it's out of bounds into the Kansas bench.
Good to see Anaya Thomas back with the Jayhawks after she had transferred away her 5th year and went and played at Missouri State, and now as a grad assistant on the Jayhawk coaching staff.
Evans first Jayhawk bucket. Elle Evans, the transfer from North Dakota State, on a tough shooting night, hits her first 2.
Just went and found that mid-range jumper since the 3 hasn't gone. There's Anaya Thomas. Had a nice talk with her at practice a couple days ago.
I was not aware she was here until in the preseason. I walked into a practice and saw her smiling face. I said, hey, what are you doing here?
She plays with the guys' practice team. She's the 5th player on that team, and she's still playing really well.
She can still play, yeah.
That's right. She's a good scout team member.
Yep. Good 4-year career, and you mentioned transferred her 5th and final season out. Williams knocked it off of Wernley out of bounds. Good defensive play by the Jayhawk freshman.
Yeah, and that was one of those, you hear a lot about transfers these days, but that was one that Brandon Schneider actually really encouraged her. In her 5th year, wanted her to get some different experience, different coaching staff, and so that's why she chose to go to Missouri State for that last year, and again, it's good to see her back here.
Funny, she got me a bottle of water and a practice plan when I came to practice. I'm like, oh, no, you don't have to do this. I covered you for 4 years. We're good. She's like, this is my new job now. That's awesome. Nice little high-low Evans to Williams.
Really nice pass. Good cut by Williams into the paint, make herself available.
Cunningham flips it down low to Odom. Odom up strong. That one goes in and out. Canessa the rebound. Under a minute. Williams, backdoor pass. Copeland had it blocked out of bounds by Coffey.
That's good recovery by Coffey, because that was an awfully nice backdoor cut by Copeland and a good find on the pass. But Coffey just recovered quickly. That's what I was talking about Evans earlier. Just use that length to get a block shot.
Lindenwood knocks it out of bounds. Kansas will maintain in the corner. Copeland went to the hoop there, transferring back to the area. Kansas City, Kansas product, Olathe North High School. Played last year at Wisconsin, was a starting guard with the Badgers. So nice experience for Kansas in a starting role tonight in place of Mayberry, but for much of the season will likely be playing in a reserve role. But a valuable player with experience entering her first season at Kansas. Brueggemann fires the 3 in there. She gets her first one to fall. Now double figures with 12, but after an 0 for 12 from the arc, the sharpshooter for Lindenwood just finally says, hey, one will go in.
Well, you have to give this Lindenwood squad a lot of credit for, after only scoring 11 points in the first half, they have hung in there. And Brueggemann, after a very frustrating night from beyond the arc, shows a shooter just keeps shooting.
And she doesn't appear to ever have toes on the line threes either. These are deep ones. Here's another one from the beak. Rebound to Cunningham. Her putback off the window and good. So a nice little finish and a nice second half for Lindenwood after 11 first half points. They won't win the game, but played well in the second half. Kansas wins its opening game 56-43 over Lindenwood.